Nice.
Bitgod on the face, Bitgod.
I asked him, after that. I can't. No, this is hilarious. I'm all for it, but I'm meeting up after that. Shout out my guy though.
Sure, man. Fuck. Sorry, Vlad. Please continue. I have to help him mute his mic.
I asked him, after that. I can't. No, this is hilarious. I'm all for it, but I'm meeting up after that. Shout out my guy. Essentially, what you can do is it almost looks like this small USB, and it's really, really tiny. But I think there's a way to kind of
continue. I have to help him mute his mic.
So usually what you can do is it almost looks like this small USB, a physical, really, really tiny, right? And then I think there's a way to kind of on something like that. I think that the next users may not be usually where it's like this small really, really tiny, right? And then there's a way to kind of the next one users something in a lot of other forms rather than us just hanging on to this idea of well, hyper-Bitcoinization is going to come and governments are going to rain down with their tyranny and they're just going to keep printing money. I think there's going to be a lot of other things that could be pretty surprising, and art is probably the medium for that. It could be other things, but that could turn into something like physical cash, like storing something and being able to, transmit value.
Cool.
Sorry, Jake.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the idea of what you're saying. There's going to be physical stuff coming, but I think for me the thing that is really the opportunity here is peer-to-peer exchange over the internet and having fungible tokens to be able to be peer-to-peer exchange. That was a fucking breakthrough. Bitcoin is fucking revolutionary. Fidelity actually compared it to the invention of the wheel in a report, I don't know, last month or 2 months ago. If you guys haven't read that, you should. But I mean, that's what we felt when we first learned about Bitcoin. I think everybody that learns about Bitcoin, when you first really understand what it is, what it did, what Satoshi did, they invented something that was going to change the fucking world forever in a major way, in a major way. And now that we have ordinals, so we've got this network of Bitcoin that already has all this value accrued to it, and all of the most powerful people in the world, the wealthiest people in the world, have understood it for years, but now they're finally able to, for a number of reasons, able to make moves, right? You have Larry Fink just absolutely selling the shit out of Bitcoin, the same way that people have been selling it for years, but it's Larry Fink selling it now. And now that you've got ordinals, you can create things like art. You can have things like rare Satoshi. You have all these other goods and services now that can be transmitted peer-to-peer over the internet, and we're literally in day zero right now. It's just it's sort of unfathomable how big this is going to be. But directionally, we know where it's headed, and yeah, it's I think the peer-to-peer exchange aspect of it and having it internet native, that's the biggest unlock. There's going to be cool shit in real life. We've already seen, I think the Asprey Bugatti A collection is a prime example of this, right? Asprey Studios is a 200-year-old company, and they built a physical artifact to go with the digital artifact that we helped them build with with their Bitcoin launch. That's a prime example. You've got Nike, our good friend is the head of tokenomics at Nike. They've done numbers in terms of the artifact stuff that they've been building over there. So I think there is this element of bringing stuff into the physical world, but the total addressable market for a internet native digital economy is fucking massive. All that hype that we saw over the last cycle about the metaverse, that hype was real. It's just the products aren't there yet, and the world isn't there yet. But we are heading in that direction. I work remotely. I don't imagine myself ever going into an office again. If there's a very strong reason, I absolutely will. and I'm not, knocking anybody that goes into an office, but like I've seen firsthand over the past 2 years how you can build something extraordinary, not ever having to even meet in a physical location.
This fucking guy was bullish.
Like I met my CEO, Danny, for the first time in Miami earlier this year. I've been working with him for over 2 years. Our entire team is remote. And we're just one example, but like I've seen it firsthand, and I used to work in the enterprise world. Like I worked in two of the largest fucking companies in the world.
He's a fucking legend.
What it looks like to have people, in the office, and we're in this new paradigm where like everything is going digital, and it's hard to imagine because there's still so much of the world that's not connected yet. But those people will come online. They're coming online faster than we can kind of like forecast, or I guess like process. But it is happening, and like all this shit is converging at once. Like it is exciting because of the money, obviously, but it's also like a whole new world, and we're at the forefront of building it. Like every single person here, you're at the forefront of this, and this is a moment in history that like you really don't get. Not too many people get the opportunity to be a part of this.
I agree. Good things. Thanks for listening, because it kind of gives people like a perspective on how to look at shit like that, and I agree with that. What's up, Ivan? So you got your hands raised up.
Yeah. So to the guy who was talking about adoption, open dimes are cool, and I've gifted open dimes to people before to give them Bitcoin. It's a really neat way to do it, or to teach a kid about it, or something like that. But Ordinals actually opens up a new opportunity to make providing those assets to people even easier and more effective. So we actually don't need to put the ordinal or the sats on the open dime because it exists on the Bitcoin network. What we need to do is relinquish ownership by directing somebody to a link that allows them to claim that ordinal, which is on chain. And that can be done through an NFC sticker. It doesn't even have to be an NFC chip, dude. You can buy those little stickers that cost like $1.30 each, and you can attach things to them. Cupcake Protocol is a fine example of it. But we can do this with Bitcoin because really all you're doing is writing a script. Now, obviously, there aren't smart contracts on Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean you can't create infrastructure that can perform a function such as transfer. So then you basically link ownership to two pieces of data on that NFC chip, and when they scan that NFC chip into a wallet, it triggers your script and your database, which then relinquishes ownership of that ordinal from the escrow wallet to the new owner who owns the NFC chip. And the coolest part is that can be repeated. So if they sell that item, the new owner can claim ownership of the ordinal that is attached to that physical item. And those are really neat concepts that we have put into effect on Solana as an example, and there's like versions of this on ETH. We can definitely do this on Bitcoin. See, people get caught up with Bitcoin's cost of the fees and its transaction rate being slow, especially when they're comparing ordinals and NFTs, because like hands down, Solana is the only scalable solution for like Web 2 to adopt blockchains right now.
No way.
But it doesn't make it the ultimate option. Even though my name is Solana Chris, the thing that I like the most about Bitcoin, and it makes, in my opinion, makes it the most powerful network and something that we all should be more open-minded to building.
Nice.
Is it's fully interoperable because of its programming languages. It's its ability not only to interpret but also produce results in C, C++, Python, JavaScript, React, real programming languages. And this is where Solidity runs into a problem, and Ethereum really can't hold a candle to Bitcoin, even with smart contracts, because it's me, the guy writing in Rust or writing in C++, that is writing interpreters to read your Solidity code so you can have EVM compatibility. But that's literally just faking it till you make it. So Ordinals allows us to do the sorts of utilities. You can, yes, it may be more expensive, and yes, it might be a little bit slower, but how do we counterbalance that for the masses? We deal with those problems on the back result is what they expect. We can wait 14 minutes. They don't have to. That's very important in this moment. And then how do you even scale into a larger user base if you don't have a piece of technology that can communicate with other pieces of technology? So yes, the Rust programming language is very powerful, and Solana is incredibly composable because of Rust, but Solana is not interoperable. Bitcoin is interoperable. And in this space, you hear interoperability this, interoperability that, when it benefits someone's bags. But when it really comes down to the technicals and technology shit